You've been lied to about what actually makes a vehicle efficient, and it's costing you up to 40% more at the pump than the window sticker promised. Think about that. You buy a modern, high-tech machine thinking the computerized wizardry is going to save your wallet, but the reality on the asphalt is a completely different story. The automotive industry loves to sell you on the dream of high-efficiency powertrains. But what they deliberately hide in the fine print is how easily that efficiency is destroyed by the very gear they bolt onto the truck at the factory. Let me tell you a story from the shop floor last month. A guy rolls into my bay driving a brand new, top-tier rugged utility vehicle. It had all the bells and whistles. Massive all-terrain rubber, heavy-duty steel roof racks, aggressive armor underneath, and a sophisticated hybrid setup under the hood. He was furious. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "I'm getting worse mileage than my old 10-year-old V6, and the dealer told me it's just my driving habits." That's the classic corporate deflection. They blame your foot because they don't want to admit the truth about rolling resistance and aerodynamic drag. I hooked up the diagnostic tools, scanned the live data while we took it for a spin, and showed him exactly what the computer was fighting against. The engine wasn't broken. The hybrid system was working perfectly. The vehicle was simply suffocating under the immense physical weight and wind resistance of its own factory installed adventure gear. Here is what the manufacturers and the slick dealership salespeople won't admit to your face, those aggressive. Knobby off-road tires in that beefy overland roof rack act like a massive parachute and an anchor combined. They look incredibly cool in the showroom, absolutely. But out on the highway, they destroy your fuel economy. When you wrap a wheel in heavy all-terrain rubber, you are drastically increasing the rotational mass. The engine has to work twice as hard just to get that heavy chunk of rubber moving from a dead stop. Add a massive, non-aerodynamic metal rack to the roof, and you've just ruined the vehicle's drag coefficient. The air can't slip over the body smoothly anymore. It smashes into that rack like a brick wall. They push these rugged, heavy variants because they carry massive profit margins, but they leave you to pay the penalty at the pump every single week. They advertise an identical fuel rating across the entire lineup based on idealized laboratory testing with a bare-bones chassis, knowing damn well that the real-world numbers on the rugged trims will plummet by double digits. If you want to understand how your vehicle actually consumes energy, you have to stop looking at marketing brochures and start looking at pure physics. Think of your vehicle's powertrain like an athlete. A highly advanced turbo-hybrid setup is like an elite runner. It's lean, it's precise, and it's optimized for maximum output with minimal waste. But when you throw a heavy backpack on that runner and force them to wear combat boots, their efficiency plummets. They are burning massive amounts of energy just to maintain a basic pace. That is exactly what happens when you option a vehicle with heavy off-road packages, but spend 95% of your time commuting on smooth pavement. The powertrain is fighting an uphill battle against rolling resistance and wind drag every single second. The computer tries to compensate by adjusting fuel trims and demanding more boost from the turbocharger, which completely defeats the purpose of having a high-efficiency hybrid system in the first place. You end up burning through fuel just to push heavy rubber and fight the wind to help you navigate this deception and reclaim the performance you actually paid for. I have laid out the 5 hidden factors that dictate real-world efficiency and ride quality, the exact elements the system uses to drain your wallet without you noticing. Number 1. The rotational mass trap. This is the single biggest thief of fuel economy on the road today. When a manufacturer equips a vehicle with massive heavy-duty wheels and aggressive all-terrain tires, they are adding unsprung weight. Every extra pound of weight in a spinning tire or wheel is equivalent to adding multiple pounds to the inside of the cabin because the engine has to physically rotate that mass. I've seen vehicles drop massive percentages in efficiency just by switching from a smooth, low-rolling resistance highway tire to a heavy, aggressive off-road tire, even when the overall tire diameter stayed exactly the same. Number 2. The aerodynamic tax. Dealerships love to showcase vehicles loaded with integrated roof platforms, snorkel intakes, and wide flared body lines. What they don't show you is the wind tunnel data. At highway speeds, aerodynamic drag increases exponentially. A heavy, boxy roof rack creates a massive low-pressure pocket behind it, essentially pulling the vehicle backward. You might think it looks rugged, but you are paying a permanent tax to the wind every time you step on the gas pedal. Number 3. The adaptive ECU learning curve. Modern engine control units are incredibly smart, sometimes too smart for their own good. When you drive a brand new vehicle off the lot, the computer has zero historical data. The fuel economy gauge on your dashboard might show an astronomical, terrifying number for the first few hundred miles. Why? Because the system hasn't calibrated itself to your specific environment, your typical commute, or your throttle inputs. It takes thousands of miles of real-world driving for the software to fully adapt, optimize its shift points, and accurately manage the balance between gasoline power and electric assistance. Number 3 is where most drivers panic and make costly mistakes, assuming their vehicle is a lemon before the computer has even finished its basic training. But the deception goes much deeper than just software calibration and heavy tires. There is a fundamental design difference in how luxury-focused trims and off-road trims handle the air around them, the noise inside the cabin, and the mechanical drag of the drivetrain itself. The system wants you to believe that a truck is just a truck, and that paying more always gets you a better experience across the board. They want you to believe that the roughest, most expensive off-road model is the pinnacle of the lineup. But what if the real sweet spot, the version that actually delivers the luxury, the quietness, and the precise fuel numbers you were promised, is the one they hide behind the luxury label for thousands of dollars less? What if the ultimate configuration isn't the one built for climbing mountains, but the one engineered to cut through the air like a knife, using specialized materials that the sales team barely even understands? We are about to strip away the body panels and look at the exact mechanical features that separate a loud, thirsty, rough-riding money pit from a whisper-quiet, highly efficient long-distance cruiser. If you think a hybrid system behaves the same way on every single trim level, you are in for a massive wake-up call, because what I discovered underneath the chassis of these new platforms changes everything. Here's the fix most dealers won't mention, because they want you locked into their high-margin accessory catalog and their rigid maintenance schedules. They want you to believe that once you buy a vehicle configured a certain way, you are completely stuck with its flaws, unless you trade it back in and lose thousands of dollars in depreciation. That is a massive lie, designed to keep you powerless. The truth is, you can take control of your vehicle's efficiency, aerodynamic profile, and ride quality right in your own garage, with basic hand tools and a little bit of insider mechanical strategy. If you are tired of watching your fuel economy plummet and you want to stop fighting the wind and the road, the solution comes down to executing a targeted mechanical optimization plan. We are going to strip away the heavy, inefficient components that the marketing department forced onto your chassis and restore the vehicle to its peak aerodynamic and rolling efficiency. Step 1. The unsuspension audit. You need to physically remove the unneeded rotational mass from your drivetrain. If you are using your vehicle as a daily commuter or a long-distance highway cruiser 95% of the time, those heavy-duty, multi-ply all-terrain tires are actively destroying your wallet. You need to swap them out for a premium set of low-rolling resistance highway all-season tires. Look for tires engineered with specialized silica compounds designed to minimize energy loss as the rubber deforms against the pavement. To do this, you don't need a high-tech shop facility. You just need a quality floor jack. A set of heavy-duty jack stands for absolute safety, and a standard half-inch drive torque wrench with the correct size socket for your lug nuts. Set aside about 1 hour of your weekend. By swapping out those heavy, knobby tread blocks for a smooth, optimized highway tread pattern, you instantly drop up to 8 to 10 pounds of unsprung, rotating weight per corner. In the engineering world, that is a massive victory that translates directly into an immediate reduction in the mechanical workload demanded from your engine and electric motor setup. Step 2. The aerodynamic declutter. It is time to get rid of the permanent roof obstructions. Manufacturers and aftermarket brands love selling massive, overbuilt metal basket racks and cargo platforms that stay bolted to your roof rails 365 days a year. If you only use that rack twice a year for a camping trip, you are paying a massive aerodynamic tax every single day for absolutely no reason. Grab a set or the specialized security keys that came with your rack system. Loosen the mounting clamps securing the platform or the crossbars to the vehicle's factory roof flush rails. This is a simple 10-minute job, though you might want a buddy to help you lift the heavy metal frame off the roof so you don't scratch that expensive factory paint. Store that rack in your garage and only bolt it back on when you are actively packing up for a trip. By cleaning up the roofline and allowing the air to pass over the windshield and roof smoothly, you instantly erase a massive low-pressure pocket of drag that has been acting like a physical parachute pulling your vehicle backward at highway speeds. Step 3. The Acoustic and Environmental Shield Inspection. If your specific trim level didn't come equipped with high-end acoustic glass, you can significantly optimize your cabin's refinement and thermal efficiency by installing high-grade, multi-layer ceramic window tinting. This isn't just about privacy or looks. It's about physical energy management. High-performance ceramic coatings block up to 99% of infrared heat from entering the cabin. This drastically reduces the load on your air conditioning compressor and cooling fans, which in turn reduces the electrical draw on your vehicle's hybrid battery system, allowing the computer to prioritize pure electric driving mode for much longer stretches of time. Let me give you a real-world example of this exact optimization strategy in action. A fellow automotive enthusiast came into my shop a few months back. He had bought a highly optioned, rugged hybrid utility vehicle because he loved the aggressive styling, but his daily commute consisted of 60 miles of pure highway driving. He was averaging a brutal 15.5 liters per 100 kilometers, way worse than the factory estimate. He was ready to sell the vehicle at a massive loss. I told him to breathe, keep his money in his pocket, and let me execute this exact 3-step optimization plan. We unbolted his heavy, boxy safari-style roof rack and stored it in his shed. We pulled off the heavy, load-range E mud tires and mounted a set of precision-engineered, low-rolling resistance highway tires onto his alloy wheels, making sure to torque every single lug nut strictly to factory specification. Finally, we applied a high-grade ceramic thermal barrier to his front glass. 2 weeks later, he called me up ecstatic. His average fuel consumption had plummeted down to 10.2 liters per 100 kilometers on his exact same daily commute. The vehicle was suddenly whisper quiet. At 70 miles per hour, the annoying cabin drone was completely gone, and the hybrid system was seamlessly shutting down the gas engine and gliding on pure electric power for miles at a time, because the physical resistance against the chassis had been drastically cut. We didn't alter a single line of factory engine code. We simply stopped forcing the powertrain to fight against unnecessary physical obstacles. But before you run out to your garage and start turning wrenches, you must be fully aware of the common mistakes and dangerous misconceptions that trip up even experienced DIYers when trying to optimize their vehicles. The single biggest mistake I see people make is falling for the cold air intake, or aftermarket, exhaust trap. The market is flooded with flashy, expensive intake tubes and high-flow mufflers that promise massive gains in horsepower and fuel efficiency. Do not waste your hard-earned money. Modern factory intake tracks and exhaust systems are highly engineered, digitally simulated systems optimized precisely for the specific thermal and acoustic properties of your engine. When you bolt on a generic aftermarket intake tube, you often disrupt the laminar airflow across the mass airflow sensor, causing the engine control module to miscalculate the actual air entering the cylinders. This forces the computer into a protective fuel-rich safety mode that actually burns more fuel and hurts your efficiency. Another massive misconception revolves around tire pressures. Many drivers think that if low rolling resistance is good, then overinflating their tires to maximum pressure must be even better to get maximum mileage. This is incredibly dangerous. When you overinflate a tire past the recommended specification listed on the placard inside your driver's door jamb, you crown the center of the tread. This drastically shrinks your vehicle's contact patch with the asphalt. severely compromising your braking distances, ruining your wet weather traction, and creating an incredibly harsh, bouncy ride that accelerates wear on your suspension components. Stick strictly to the factory recommend cold tire pressure. Let the rubber compound and the aerodynamic cleanup do the heavy lifting for your fuel economy. You also need to understand the myth of premium fuel as an efficiency cure-all. If your vehicle's manual explicitly states that the engine is calibrated to run optimally on regular 87-octane unleaded, pumping expensive 91 or 93 octane premium into the tank will not magically grant you better fuel economy or unlock hidden horsepower. Octane is simply a measurement of a fuel's resistance to pre-ignition, or knocking under high compression. It is not a measurement of raw energy content. Unless your engine has a high-compression turbo setup that dynamically advances ignition timing specifically for higher octane fuels, you are literally throwing dollar bills right down the exhaust pipe. Reclaiming your vehicle's efficiency isn't about buying expensive, unproven gimmicks or chasing magical software tunes. It is about understanding the fundamental laws of physics, reducing unnecessary weight and aerodynamic drag, and allowing your advanced factory powertrain to operate in the clean, optimized environment it was originally engineered for. You have the power to fix the flaws the marketing department bolted onto your ride. Now grab your tools, get out to the garage, and take back control of your driving experience. When you execute these mechanical optimizations and strip away the unnecessary burdens placed on your vehicle by corporate marketing, you aren't just saving a few dollars at the pump next Tuesday. You are fundamentally rewriting the long-term longevity blueprint of your entire powertrain system. By dropping that rotating mass and clearing the air pathway over your roofline, you radically reduce the thermal and mechanical stress on every single critical component under the sheet metal. Think about what happens to an advanced turbo hybrid setup over a lifespan of 100 or 200,000 miles. In a factory burden configuration, your turbocharger is constantly staying packed in a high boost state just to push through the heavy wind resistance. That means higher exhaust gas temperatures, accelerated oil degradation, and premature wear on the turbo bearings. Your electric motor generator units are forced to work at maximum thermal capacity during every single stop-and-go acceleration cycle to get those massive heavy tires moving by executing a clean optimization plan. You drop those operating temperatures dramatically. Your engine oil retains its chemical integrity for longer. Your turbocharger operates within its ideal efficiency island. And your high-voltage hybrid battery pack experiences far fewer deep discharge cycles because the vehicle can coast smoothly on pure electrical energy. You are effectively buying yourself years of trouble-free mechanical operation and protecting yourself from the massive 4- and 5-figure repair bills that dealerships love to spring on owners just as the factory warranty expires. To truly maximize these long-term gains and ensure your vehicle remains a precision-engineered cruiser for the next decade, you must integrate a few highly specific complementary habits and checks into your regular garage routine. These aren't the generic, oversimplified bullet points you find in the generic owner's manual. These are the strict habits of master technicians who know how machinery behaves under real-world stress. First, implement a strict alignment schedule tailored to low rolling resistance setups. When you run highly optimized highway tires, even a microscopic deviation in your steering geometry, a fraction of a degree of excessive toe-in or toe-out, will instantly convert your smooth tread into a mechanical scrub board. If your alignment is off, your tires are essentially dragging sideways down the highway, generating massive friction, destroying your fuel economy gains, and chewing through your expensive tread pattern in a matter of months. Don't wait for the vehicle to start pulling hard to one side. Have your alignment verified on a precision laser rack at least once a year, or immediately after hitting any major jarring pothole. Second, master the art of managing your high-voltage battery's thermal state through smart cabin prep. Hybrid batteries absolutely hate extreme temperatures. If your vehicle has been sitting under the scorching summer sun, the battery pack will be heat-soaked. If you jump in and instantly demand maximum acceleration while the air conditioning compressor is screaming at full blast, the system will experience massive electrical resistance and force the gasoline engine to run constantly at high RPMs just to survive the load. Instead, use your remote app or digital key to precondition the cabin while the vehicle is still parked, or drop the windows for the first 2 minutes of your drive to let the stagnant hot air escape naturally. Getting the cabin temperature down quickly allows the hybrid battery cooling fans to stabilize the pack's internal cells, unlocking maximum electric-only driving range almost instantly. Third, maintain a flawless maintenance schedule for your drivetrain lubricants, specifically moving beyond the absurdly prolonged lifetime fluid claims pushed by modern manufacturers. There is no such thing as a fluid that lasts forever. The specialized, low-viscosity transmission fluids used in modern electronic continuously variable transmissions and multi-speed hybrid gearboxes are highly susceptible to mechanical shearing and microscopic metallic contamination over time. To preserve your efficiency gains and ensure the mechanical gear sets spin with absolutely zero internal friction, dump that factory fluid every 40 to 50,000 miles. The same rule applies to your rear differential assemblies on full-time four-wheel drive platforms. Clean, fresh, high-grade synthetic gear oil keeps internal drag at absolute zero. However, as an investigative technician, I must give you an honest look at the inevitable trade-offs that come with fine-tuning a vehicle for maximum real-world efficiency and long-range comfort. Machinery operates on strict compromise. You cannot change one variable without subtly shifting another. When you transition away from a rugged, heavily bolstered off-road trim to an aerodynamic, luxury-focused configuration, you are consciously sacrificing a degree of extreme terrain capability. If you suddenly find yourself staring down a deeply rutted, muddy mountain trail or trying to traverse sharp, jagged volcanic rock beds, your smooth highway tread patterns and lower, sleeker body lines will not have the mechanical bite or the ground clearance to conquer those specific obstacles. You must be comfortable with the reality that your optimized cruiser belongs on the asphalt, the rain-slicked highways, and the maintained dirt roads, not climbing vertical rock walls. Furthermore, you need to understand how playing with your vehicle's integrated drive modes alters the efficiency equation. Switching your center console dial into sport or dynamic mode completely rewrites the software logic, mapping your throttle pedal to the engine bay. It forces the transmission to hold onto gears longer, commands the turbocharger to pre-spool and maintain immediate boost, and aggressively keeps the gasoline engine running to ensure instant throttle response. It is incredibly fun, and it completely changes the performance dynamic of the platform, but it will immediately slash your fuel economy numbers by 10 to 15%. Use sport mode when you want to enjoy a twisting mountain road, but understand that you are consciously trading your optimized efficiency for temporary mechanical aggression. You also have to accept that an optimized, highly aerodynamic luxury setup will communicate the road surface differently. Without those massive, squishy, high sidewall off-road tires to absorb giant packs like secondary pillows, your suspension has to do the heavy lifting. Combined with premium low-profile alloy wheels, you will feel a more direct, connected relationship with the pavement. It handles infinitely better in the corners, stays perfectly flat on the highway, and eliminates that sloppy, floating truck feel. But it means you will notice the sharp cracks and expansion joints in the asphalt more than you would in an overbuilt overlanding rig. But standing here today, looking at the data and looking at the reality of how we actually use our vehicles, that is a trade-off you should make every single day of the week. Do not let corporate marketing divisions convince you to buy an overly rugged lifestyle gimmick that forces you to compromise your daily comfort, your long-distance refinement, and your hard-earned financial resources for 365 days a year, just for the sake of an image. You now possess the insider knowledge to see right through the showroom floor, smoke and mirrors. You know exactly how rotational weight, aerodynamic drag coefficients, and electronic control modules interact to dictate your real-world driving reality. You know that true automotive luxury and mechanical efficiency aren't about what a manufacturer labels a vehicle. It is about how cleanly that vehicle cuts through the atmosphere and how effortlessly its drivetrain transfers power to the pavement. Take this knowledge. Walk out into your garage and look at your machine with the analytical eyes of a seasoned investigator. Check your tire pressures with a precision digital gauge. Take a hard look at your roofline and unbolt the useless accessories that are dragging you down. Schedule that precision alignment and dump those worn, contaminated fluids. You are no longer just a passive driver stuck inside a system dictated by dealership service advisors and corporate boardrooms. You are an empowered enthusiast who knows exactly how to tune, optimize, and maintain your vehicle for maximum real-world dominance. Keep your wrenches turning, keep demanding the truth from your machinery, and I'll see you out on the open road.